Hi, how's it going? So we've got a couple of new things I wanted to take a look at today, particularly this guy. You know, there's a lot of cool stuff being discovered and things being learned that this guy can do. And I wanted to take the time to talk about something that I really like about this guy. All right, so if you've ever wanted to figure out how to play around hand traps with this deck, I highly recommend you learn this specific combo line. Not in its entirety, but rather just in a couple of spots. I think there's a lot of cool interactions people can learn and take this with a grain of salt. I don't know. So this is what we're going to be looking at today. It's going to be a Minstrel plus Dragoons combo with 3 random cards in your hand. We're going to start off by discarding the Dragoons with the Minstrel to then use the Dragoons' effect here to go ahead and search for a copy of Neptibus the Atlantean Prince. We're then going to normal summon this guy, and it's pretty straightforward if you've seen my other videos. We're going to go ahead and send that guy to go ahead and search a copy of this guy. Then we can go ahead and use this guy to summon out a copy of this guy. We can use this guy's effect, discarding this guy to search for this card. And then we can go ahead and use this guy to go ahead and search for, you can search for anything here really. We're not going to be summoning out any hand drip cards in this combo. And I'm going to show you guys why in a little bit. From here, we can go ahead and use this girl to go ahead and tribute this guy to go ahead and search for gender ambiguous turtle to then use the Neptibus' effect to go ahead and summon out the pike. Then from here, this is going to be our 4th summon to summon out a copy of Bahamut Shark. And then we can use that Bahamut Shark detaching a material to go ahead and summon out our first Totally Awesome. Now I say first is because we're going to be summoning a lot of these guys today. On a new chain, because we sent Dragoons for cost to the graveyard, we can go ahead and search here. It doesn't really matter, but I think we're good to just go ahead and search for a copy of Atlantean Heavy Infantry. Now, sometime in this combo, if you really wanted to search for the Mullen Glacier, instead of summoning the Toad, you could have summoned out an Abyss Dweller and then search that copy of Mullen Glacier for the first Sea Serpent. And then with 5 Waters Engraved, you can drop the Mullen Glacier and then chainlink 1 Mullen Glacier to discard 2 cards, chainlink 2 Dweller to turn off graveyard effects. That's only if, with the information you've seen from Minstrel, if that's the correct option to do so. From here, we can go ahead and use our Mermail Abyss Teus, special summoning itself by discarding the infantry, chainlink 1 Teus, chainlink 2 infantry because it's mandatory, or I guess it's the other way around. We're gonna go ahead and search for a copy of Mermail Abyss Gun, and then from here, we can go ahead and overlay an Xyz Armor Fortress on top of the Bahamut Shark. And if you're playing 2 targets, go ahead and search both. I'm only playing 1 target with this guy, and that card's going to be the Armored Xyz Shark. This card counts as an Armored Xyz card. From here, we can go ahead and use the Abyss Megalo effect, summoning itself from our hand by discarding the gun plus the shark, chainlink 1 to summon, chainlink 2 to search. We're gonna go ahead and search for that spell card. And by the way, I'm finally learning how to drive at the ripe old age of 15 minutes since birth. And I think that's really cool. Driving's pretty scary. It's always been something I've been scared of, but I'm slowly learning. I'm gonna be able to take myself to locals now. How awesome is that? And my bad, we're not searching the Mizuchi. We're actually gonna search for that new equip spell, Abyss Sting of Triana. From here, we can go ahead and Xyz summon using the Teus plus the Megalo into our Mermail Abyss Gaios. Rest in peace to anyone who doesn't have one. His price is insane. And then overlaying on top of that for a Poseidra Abyss, the Atlantean Dragon Deity. From here, we can use the equip spell, targeting a copy of Atlantean Dragoons in our graveyard. This can summon any Atlantean or Mermail, to then overlay both of these for another Bahamut Shark. And then using this Bahamut Shark, detaching the copy of Dragoons to go ahead and summon out our second Totally Awesome on a new chain because Dragoons was sent for a cost. What do we want to search here? I guess it's not super pertinent. This is kind of like the one flex spot. So if you wanted to search for a lead, a Neptibus, an Artisan, Minstrel again, bodyguards, you can honestly search whatever. I'm just going to search Artisan because it gives you more follow-up next turn. Okay, get back in there. All right, and just look at our beautiful board. So next what we're gonna do is make a link summon using the Fortress, the Poseidra, and the Bahamut Shark to go into a link monster, the Neptibus, the Royal Mermail. Chainlink 1, we're gonna discard the Artisan for the Poseidra Abyss to target not the Artisan, because if we summon the Artisan, we're gonna clog our zones and can't use her effect. So what we're gonna instead summon is the Armored Shark, the Abyss Rhine, and the Shadow Bodyguards. You could also summon the Minstrel if you wanna go into synchro plays, but personally, I don't really care for it. I think this is a pretty good setup. And then because we sent a water monster to the graveyard for cost, we can go ahead and use the Royal Mermail to search for a copy of Mermail Mizuchi. It's an Abyss scale, it's Mermail search it, you know. From here, we can use the Abyss Rhine plus the Mermail Shadow Bodyguards to go into an Xyz copy of Lavertu Dragon. On summon, this is a really cool card, by the way. If you don't already know what it does, it searches an Icarus attack from your deck. So basically just on summon, it's free disruption, and then you can use its effect to discard a material to target any Aqua Sea Serpent fish in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. In this case, it's very important that we add back the Dragoons. So all of a sudden, 2 level 3s become a card that has disruption plus putting more cards in your hand. And, you know, card economy, water decks, cards are expensive, prices are up, cards in hand are up. It just goes hand in hand. Next from here, what we can do is use the Armatraps effect here. Because we didn't summon the Abyss Dweller, we can just go ahead and send this to the graveyard to target a fish monster with the same level as its rank, in this case Pike, and we're gonna summon the Pike out. What we can do is something very interesting, and that is use the Virtue Dragon plus the Neptibus and link summon into a Marincess Coral Anemone. Now, for every other combo I've shown you on this channel featuring the new cards, you've always used Coral Anemone at the beginning of the combo, but in this case, we're using it towards the end, and I'm about to show you guys why with this really cool play that maybe not a lot of you guys remember. Before we get into that, what we are going to do is use that equip spell in our graveyard, Abyss Sting second effect, to banish itself. We can just put that over here actually, off to the side, to go ahead and target 3 Aqua Sea Serpent fishes in your graveyard. In this case, we're going to target the Neptibus, we're going to target the Poseidra Abyss, and the Mermail Abyss Gaios. These are always my favorite ones to put back, so you can use them turn 3, turn 4 to quickly your opponent. So we're going to put these 3 cards back, and then from here we can use Coral Anemone's effect to special summon out the card we discarded a long time ago, Atlantean Heavy Infantry. And then from here we can link summon using the Armored Shark and the Coral Anemone back into that copy of Neptibus over here. And then from here what we can do is use Infantry's second effect is, if you control this card, you can have an additional normal summon for, there's a plane going about of the commercial variety. But yeah, you can go ahead and normal summon another level 4 a lower sea serpent. In this case, we're going to normal summon the Dragoons that we added to our hand. And then from here, we can overlay the Dragoons with the Pike into a copy of Bahamut Shark, and then use the Bahamut Shark here, detaching the copy of Dragoons, to go ahead and summon out another Totally Awesome. But that's not it, because then we can use the Dragoons' effect here to go ahead and rack through our deck for another Sea Serpent, in this case a second copy of Heavy Infantry. And then if we wanted to, like, you know, change the zones around, like, you know, it doesn't really matter. I don't think your opponent's still in the game at the point, but we can link off both the Bahamut Shark and the Infantry. Zone placements doesn't really matter, just make sure like you have things around if you want to go into a Mermail Abyss Salacia as well. Anyways, this is your ending field. It's 1, 2, 3 toads, 1 Mermail Abyss Salacia with a Mizuchi and an Infantry to get rid of those pesky Dark Ruler No Mores, Super Polys, and Droplets. And then we also have a Neptibus, so when we use any of our water cards as effects, we can immediately, like if we use the Mizuchi, re-equip it or search for like a Kraken or a Cetus and then also equip that. So that's another really cool play. And then also what we do have in the graveyard is a copy of Mermail Abyss Rhine, and you can use her to discard any card in your hand to draw a card from your deck. And if you send a water card, you can just equip another card to the Royal Mermail, so there's also that. So your ending play is really, really cool. You've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 forms of interruption. Yeah, they have 6 cards in your hand or in their hand, but you've got 3 Omni Negates. You can put all of these cards back into your extra deck. You can put the Virtue Dragon back into your extra. You can put the Anemone back into your extra. You can put anything like this also back into your hand by using the 3 toads. So, and also when these cards are destroyed, they like search and special anything from your deck. So you've got so much assurance if your board gets broken. I just really like this deck, and I hope you guys do too.